Hello guys. Right, this is a YouTube channel that I have started up, and I'm going to be talking about my personal experiences with mental health, so primarily anxiety and also depression, possibly ADD, but never diagnosed. Um, I'm also going to talk about drug use and drug addiction and sort of the world I was involved in, I guess. I wasn't deep into it. I have quite a middle class upbringing, and yeah, I suppose I've still got some interesting stories to tell from psychiatric wards, hospitals, and that sort of thing. So I think to start this off, and I really didn't know how to start this off because what do you do first? Like, I just didn't know where to start. I've decided to talk about how my anxiety first manifested itself, I guess. Um, and this started, I've always had sort of social anxiety. I remember back to school that I would be sort of, I don't know, just worried about people not liking me or about upholding conversations and making sure people wanted to spend time with me. And that really fucked with my head, to be honest. But at the time, I wasn't aware what mental health was, and I sort of just got on with it. Like it was painful, but it wasn't life stopping, I guess. Um, so so I think for me, and I feel like this is a bit, I don't know, I'm not sure if this is a well-known thing, but for me, my early drug use really brought out the anxiety that I previously had and made it a real problem, like sort of a life-stopping, disrupting problem. Um, so I think I'd started college, um, and basically I'd started doing biology, psychology, and history, and I struggled. I really, really struggled, and ended up dropping biology fairly quickly because it was just too much. I'd have a couple of sort of breakdowns, which I didn't really know were significant at the time, but yeah. So I dropped biology, and then I came sort of near to the end of the year, had the end of year exams and stuff, and I just started to get scared. At the same time, I was starting to smoke weed a lot more, and I was sort of realizing, or not even realizing, because I think I was still fairly capable at the time, but I was second guessing everything I was doing, and I really wasn't sure that I was going to be able to pass them at all. So my way of dealing with that was I just smoked more and more and more and pushed the problem to the back of my mind. And then, because that's not a way of dealing with things, basically, I decided I had to make a decision. And the decision I made was that I dropped out of college and I started a new college afresh with 3 new subjects, which possibly a bit easier, might be seen as a bit easier. So I started with photography, kept psychology, and sociology. Um, but basically, because I left college, I had an extra long summer, something like 8 weeks summer, maybe even nearer 3 months of summer, and my girlfriend did exactly the same thing. So we went ham. Um, Started taking mdma every week, smoking multiple times a day, and this was when I was sort of about 16 and probably the crucial time for my brain to be developing. Um, and yeah, I just went ham, and in that period, I remember a couple of times where I thought that not smoking enough was making me really, really anxious, and that I sort of, when I smoked a little bit and I got in between, like really high and not high at all, that because of the tolerance I developed, it was just making me like uncertain. I had this buzzing in my veins, like this electric sort of pulse. And my way of dealing with it, stupidly, was just smoke through it, smoke more and more to block it out. And it sort of worked, except every so often in that summer, it popped up that I would just freak the fuck out, have a panic attack of some kind, which I wasn't even aware were panic attacks at the time. So yeah, then it sort of came to starting this new college, and I think it was the second day in, like I was meeting sort of different friends at this college because there was friends I knew from this college and smoking joints and whatnot. Um, and I think, yeah, the second day woke up, went with my sort of main friend group to smoke a joint, and I was just anxious. Like the only way I can describe it is just like electricity just going through my veins, and so uncomfortable that I just wanted to leave my body. And of course, I thought, okay, let's just smoke through this. I can smoke through this. And so we rolled up, I had a joint, and I started to panic, like hardcore panic attack. All I was thinking about is, I need to leave this situation, I need to leave this situation, I can't be with these people, I'm freaking out. Um, and it scared me shitless. Like, it was the first time I was like, okay, there's something wrong in my brain, and I don't know if anyone else has sort of experienced where you have that first realization of, oh shit, my mental health is really fucked. And that was my first realization for me. um and yeah, it was terrifying. So I stayed with my girlfriend for the rest of the day. We sort of, I think we went back to hers. I carried on trying to smoke through it, but that feeling just wouldn't go. I think then I returned to my parents the next day, and I just broke down. I was like, I need help. Like, something has broken in my brain. I remember like screaming at my parents, something has broken. I've broken my brain, and I can't get rid of this panic. Um, and the way I look at it now is that I sort of, the smoking I got used to the smoking. I got used to being high, and sort of my natural state was being high. And it somehow flips my brain chemistry, so I wasn't producing the GABA that I should be producing because the weed was sort of numbing it out. And then when when the tolerance rose and I wasn't able to smoke enough, it just meant that because my GABA was completely down regulated, I was just extremely anxious. And this this lasted for a long time. I mean, it still sort of goes on today. Um, there's lots of things I tried to sort of work through this. I tried lots of healthy things. I mean, for the first 3 months, I tried mostly healthy things, and I'm happy to sort of give you guys some suggestions of what you could do if you're in a similar situation, and what I tried and how it worked for me. Things like CBD, things like exercise, eating healthy, all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, I feel like I can talk about that another time. I just wanted to talk about sort of the first time that my bad mental health became apparent to me. Um, yeah, and I mean, this is what this channel will be. It's sort of a diary for myself, but if it can help other people, then that would be amazing. Um, and yeah, I've just got lots of little stories that I'm happy to tell. Um, and I'm just gonna do it over some of my Warzone gameplay. I mean, I'm pretty shit, but it's the only game I really play, so yeah, it's just something a bit stimulating for your eyes while you listen to the stories. So yeah, I mean, I'm gonna try and build up this channel and hopefully get to a point where people can ask me questions. But at the moment, that's sort of my story of how weed, I guess, brought out my anxiety disorder, which is now diagnosed as GAD, general anxiety disorder, or generalized anxiety disorder. Um, so yeah, I guess thanks for listening, and I will be back with another story at some point. Cheers.